sit over here. Hey! You go there.
I go there.
You go there.
Live. Okay.
Hey guys, just want to check in you're there. Hopefully we're in the right group. If you're in the Juice Plus Australia New Zealand page, let us go. Hey Brian, there you go.
Okay, so now I think we have to click on Brian. Invite.
Invite to broadcast.
Phone has to be horizontal, Brian.
Look at the pictures. We see photos of all you guys. It's amazing. Send out.
Here he is!
Hey, Rockstar. I think you just cut us off the screen though. With your big buff head.
You're too big.
Got a new do for this.
Oh yeah.
I was hoping that was the case.
Elvis is in the house.
Nice.
I'm going to just get out of the way.
No,
you girls.
Put it a tiny bit more.
I don't think it'll work.
No, if we sit back.
You girls are a lot better looking.
Look.
I don't think so.
We're just going to have to cut
Yeah,
it
we're the three amigos.
Hey.
Awesome. Well, it's good to catch up with all you guys. And Brian, you get your teeth done as well, dude. Look at you. You are looking.
It's a filter. It's a filter.
You are looking good, Shen.
We need a filter.
Live filter.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
He's got his lights set up.
I'm a bit turned on by you today. You look amazing today. But anyway, good to have all you guys on here. I don't know where we're going to go with today. We're certainly going to share some gold with you guys. I'm going to ask the girls some questions, but better yet, you guys should ask some questions. So if you want to know some stuff, if you want to ask some stuff, do that. I don't know, do you guys want to share first? Share a little bit of wisdom. I know it's the end of the month of all times to get us on here. Celine obviously doesn't want us to work hard. But it is end of the month. I think we are officially over, and I hope you guys had an awesome month. We want to share about what's important this time of the month, right? It's as we roll over to the new month. So, I don't know. Kira, you want to start?
Well, I believe the beginning of the month is more important than the end of month because you really get to create a vision and set an intention for the month ahead. And I think you can't really get to where you want to go unless you create a map. Well, you can, but you really want to get there on a direct path rather than taking all the wrong turns and ending up in dead ends and taking the long way there. Sit down and really create an intention of where exactly you want to be by the end of June, and then you can reverse engineer that, and then you're on purpose when you get up every day what you need to do. And then end of month is even more exciting because you're really just bringing that together.
I love that. So do you, at the start of the month, what would that look like? Do you sort of schedule half an hour to do that, or an hour? You look at the previous month, or do you just kind of instinctively feel that if I get 2 new team this month, that will be a huge win?
I think it's a combination. It depends on where your business is at. So if you're brand new, you're really just looking at maximizing the compensation plan by helping as many people as you can. And really set some survive and thrive goals, as Celine would say. So what are your bare minimums? So for me, bare minimum might be 2 new team and 5 customers. But then I'm going to have my thrive goals, which will be 5 new team and 10 customers. And what I've found is when I set those thrive goals, I either land somewhere in the middle. So do they say shoot for the stars and land on the moon?
Yep.
It's better than not moving at all, right? So if you surpass the survive goals even a little bit, that's a huge win. But when you hit those thrive goals occasionally, then that feels incredibly rewarding as well. Now, if you do have a big team underneath you, or even a small team underneath you, you definitely want to take the time at the beginning of each month. Hopefully you know what everyone's stake in the ground is. So you obviously don't want to be dragging people along to promotions if that's not what they're up for. But when you check in with your team and you know what they, is this still important to you? Do you know that you can achieve this month? Do you want to link arms, and do you want me to keep you accountable and help you make that happen? So what I do is I create lists of every level, and then I know who I'm working with for them to achieve that level that month. So I really have a map of where my team's at and where they want to go that month as well. So as a leader, not only am I maximizing the compensation plan by looking after my business, so I'm not going into management mode, I'm still taking care of my business.
Yep.
But I'm also able to show up as a leader and help lead my team where they want to go. And just teaching them the importance of goal setting and setting that intention as well.
So I just want to pick up, there's 2 things in there that I just think are brilliant, because you're setting the intention at the start of the month and you know who you're working with for that month. It doesn't mean that other people aren't important. These are people that you've identified and have probably identified themselves with both hands up saying, I've got the family contract in place. I'm ready to really focus this month. And then the question is something like, well, how can I best support you to do that? Oh, this 3-week call. I'd love you to drop on this training. I'd love you to help me with, you know, this reset, you know, juicy body information session, or a shred 10, or a, and so you get very clear and you can plan out for that month too. Because one of the dangers is feeling, as you're stepping into leadership, that you have to be everything to everyone at all times. And a lot of the time, people they're either sitting, they're walking, they're jogging, or they're running. And when you can identify where they're at, how do we know who's doing what? We ask them. And it's all perfect. There's no right and wrong. And then there's no comparison game, right? There's no comparison game, and you can sit so comfortably knowing that you're acceptable right where you are. And it's perfect.
It's just how do I show up for you? So for some people, they want to be kept accountable. They want you to check in with them, whereas other people, they're not wanting to run. So that feels like pressure. So it really is helpful as a leader when you know, and then you have no expectation on those people of what they should be doing as well. So
I just, I know, besides getting a haircut, Bryan, what do you like to do at the start of the month?
So, I mean, we duplicated that really well into our team. So I get around those leaders, I work out what they want to achieve this month, not what I want them to achieve. And I think that's really important, that they own where they're going. And when we duplicated that and implemented that in our team 6 months ago, our team started flourishing. You know, they took ownership of their team. They took ownership of where they were going, and I could just sit back and then serve them. And I'm a very lazy guy, and I love just getting out of the way and letting them step up. So that was a massive lesson for us. And we do that within the first week of the month. You know, I'll get around all of our leaders.
Just so I'm clear, do you go to your frontline leaders and they're doing the same with theirs and theirs?
Correct.
You're not going three down and seeing what they want and need. This is really part of just supreme duplication.
Correct. So Adam implemented a system a while ago that at different levels, you work with a number of different people on your front line. And so I think I implemented that at around SSC, and I think it was 3, and then Q was 4 and 5, and I'm still working with 5 or 6. So I would meet with them, only frontline, and then they duplicate that down. So it all sort of branches off from me and goes down that way.
Yeah, and it's not possible to hit everyone, and you will identify, and I'm sure Bryan actually has all of his frontline all in, but I know for myself there's been frontline who have introduced diamonds, and maybe that frontline hasn't stayed. So when I talk about my map, I'm talking about my frontline as well, but it may include people who aren't direct to me, but I treat them like they are because the person in between isn't showing up as a leader.
Yeah, I think the one that I often say is maximize the compensation plan. You think about this business, it's about help people get what they want and then you achieve your goals, something that I really got very early. So I always say this, you know, spend the time to work out what you want to achieve in your business, park it with your upline and say, hey, this is my goal for the next 30 days. I'm really committed to doing this. And then work out what your business needs to look like in the next 30 days. Who do you need to help to facilitate that? Now, the job is don't go do it for someone, but find the people that their goals are aligned with what your goals are inside your team and work with them. I think one thing is, and it's in the Eric Worre, I love it, is that your success is determined by you, not by me. You know, that success is determined by you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to support you. I'm here for 3-way calls, do that sort of stuff. But ultimately, your success is up to you. And your job, I think, as an upline is to really identify who wants it, who's prepared to meet you halfway, who's you know, showing you those 3 elements of success that we know success, that they're turning up, they've got vision, and they're teachable, and away you go. And I think, you know, really I think if you're frustrated because people aren't showing up, the reality is you probably haven't got the right people. So what's the frustration is that you're not getting out there spending more time finding the real people. And I think people that get a little challenged, as your word is, not stuck, that they get challenged, is that they become challenged because they're putting their success on other people's shoulders, and that's not fair. And it's about there's lots of people out there that want to do the work, guys, just about getting out there and talking to them.
So I think that's an awesome point. How do you know when someone's being teachable and getting past the challenge? What do you see in those that are just ready dig deeper and move past? What kind of...
Oh, well, I'll give them some simple tasks. I think one of the things is that I'll say to them, if you're really committed to this, and if they're new on, I'm just like, I want you to put me in front of some people, set me up into some three-way messages. It was only last week. I was working with someone quite new, and he's pretty excited. He's pretty committed in New Zealand. And I just said, man, your job is to start conversations. That's not a good sign, battery light. Start conversations, get them to watch an event, and then put them in front of me. And the thing is, this kid the other day was like putting 5 or 6 people at a time in front of me. I'm like, this kid's so teachable. He's amazing. And then automatically I know that I'm going to move in with that guy this month because I know he's prepared to meet me halfway and he's going to do the work. And I think you've got to ask yourself, are the people that you're working with, are they meeting you halfway and prepared to do the work?
Yeah, that's awesome. So they're actually going away and they may be scared to do a three-way, for example, a connection call or whatever it is. They feel the fear and they do it anyway because you've given an example of why it works, why it's part of the tried and proven system. You don't need to be extra special to do any of these steps, but it's actually doing the steps. Yeah, it's like if we don't do a launch event, then we're not treating it like a business. It's a hobby and I'll do what I can when it's convenient, not when I'm fully committed, because if you treat this like a business and like you paid $400,000 for this franchise, you'd have a business opening, right? I would have several. I would do a lot of marketing to really decide and commit at a high level. So I think the teachability is about a commitment level, that it's okay to be scared and it's okay to be uncertain, but your leadership around you, you can borrow our certainty until yours is really up there. Yeah. So I think that's the true gift of this business is you don't need to be fully certain at the start. In fact, it's really hard for you to have those really high beliefs at the start. We understand that because you're brand new. So it's like everything, when you do something new, it's uncomfortable for everyone. Anything new is uncomfortable and that's okay. So what else?
Have there been any questions pop up?
It has, but I can't
Let's have a look
at
in
both
the
phones.
little chatty box.
There's people talking.
Bryan,
There's people talking about my hair.
I know, it looks
Of course
good.
they are.
They want to know who your hairdresser
There you go. We're looking at the other one so you can check some of the things.
And this is why you want to be 100 Club, right? So you can afford these haircuts every week and a half.
Every 2 weeks.
Well, here's a great question. How do you keep it simple so I don't get caught up with the other stuff?
That's a great question.
No one knows, but...
Well, I think this business is simple, and I think that we do overcomplicate it.
We do.
Yeah, it's not easy, but it's definitely simple. And I think when you go back to the systems, I'm sorry, I'm going to apologize on behalf of Adam. His camera.
He's got the best machine here. You guys should see it. It's like robotic.
We're
It's a
trying to
face
fix low
scanner.
power. Yeah, there's so many trainings and systems, and coming back to being teachable, I just got off a training with my Start Strong guys just before, and I had a moment of realization yesterday that, Team Freestyle has had, I think, over 300 people join this month, yet we still only have maybe 350 people on a Monday night get on team training, and that blows my mind, because if this was $100,000 business, you would absolutely, totally right. So like a lot of other franchises out there might cost upwards of $100,000.
Yeah.
And you may expect to earn $150,000 to $200,000 a year from that investment. We're investing $165 and there's real potential that exceeds that to earn that kind of income. But because it is such a small investment, people don't value it the same way, to show up and learn from the people who have already created success. What are the keys to success?
Yeah.
Success leaves clues, right? So if you want this to work, you have to make training a priority. And, there's always someone who is invested in your success, no matter what team you're on. Juice Plus has amazing trainings as a company every single week that people can plug into. So you really need to be proactive in being teachable and being available for those trainings, because that's where you go and learn how simple this business actually is. Yeah. And I love what Lorian says about staying close to the fire, because if you show up every week for team training, your inspiration continues to burn bright. And when you're inspired from within, you're inspired into action, and action creates passion, and then that creates momentum in your business. You don't need someone to motivate you and drag you along. So if you're feeling cold with your inspiration, you're just not plugging in enough. And I think it starts with that.
Yeah, I would say with simplicity, it's so easy to complicate it because there feels like there's a million steps, but there's actually not. We get paid to invite, we get paid to connect, we get paid to follow up, we get paid to be a detective. So I think the biggest difference for me to help people get started and not be overwhelmed and distracted with all the other things that seem important that honestly just aren't, is that initial game plan chat. Why are they here? What is success going to look like for them in the next 3 months? And then being so laser focused, have a total tunnel vision just on that, and everything else can fall in place after that. So once you have that initial success in their eyes, what success means to them, and I love the game plan chat because they're all different. They're individual and they're customized, and they need to be. I think that's the purpose of the game plan chat. We're not trying to be everything to everyone. So if we know the top 1 or 2 things that our brand new teamie is saying is the most important to them, this is what success looks like to me, to help 1 or 2 other people, to feel accepted, to feel part of the tribe, easy. Then that's all I focus on. I hope that's my bit. What about you, Bryan? I think it's a great question. How do you keep things simple? And I know you're masterful at this, so I can't wait to hear your insight.
I mean, our goal in this business is to create a McDonald's in a sense that a 16-year-old can enter a business and make burgers. Do you know what I mean? And being able to hire people that are 16 and run $1 million business. And I think if we come into it with that approach, when we're starting someone, we've got to keep it really simple. All you need, like Adam says, all you need to do is create curiosity and put them in front of the upline. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. Have conversations, create curiosity. You want more out of your life, you want more out of your health, put them in front of me, and that's it. And I think when people get overwhelmed when they try to learn the compensation plan, or they try to go through and learn so much about the product, well, we can find that when we need it. You don't need that to get started. So we just focus on keeping it really simple, which is get out, start conversations, and put them in front of me. You don't need to know anything else. That's it. It's that simple. And that's when I think when we can do that and duplicate that, our teams go crazy with duplication and prospecting.
And the other thing is, there's step by step, there's a lot of systems in place, and it only takes a week or 2 to set up your own team system. Once you have enough, anything that is worth saying, if you've said it more than 3 or 4 times in your business, like a game plan chat, like the first week, like explaining the basics of the compensation plan, you make sure that you record it. So you don't have to have that conversation every single time. You can encourage people to watch that 7 minutes first, so they come to the meeting already prepped. So when you've got 15-minute window, and most of the little meetings that I'm setting up are 15, 20 minutes, because I'm absolutely standing by, my belief that this is chunks of moments, that we're investing in building a business machine, a dream-keeping machine that can pay us and deliver dreams for the rest of our life. It's the consistently, pouring into that machine every single day in these bite-sized chunks. So I know your systems are fantastic. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, wash, rinse, repeat. And it's just the same.
Yeah.
So question from Lauren: how do you work with those that say they want it, yet they're not willing to do the do, and then blame outwards or beat themselves up for their non-success?
I'll take this one. This is my favorite.
I thought you'd like that one.
Because I spent years with my heart and head in conflict on this. I was a pleaser and I wanted to help everyone. That's how I found my own self-worth. So I was torn, and this is where we say that's building an orphanage, not a duplicating business. The minute that you know you're in this and you're building a business and you owe no one anything and they owe you nothing, there is no apologies. The expectations and the rules of the game are set up in that very first meeting. Like Adam said, there's a whole chapter devoted to this in Go Pro. And I read that word for word. Your success is 100% your responsibility. Your non-success is 100% your responsibility. You won't mean
not
nothing.
Your upline,
No
not your
sideline. It's
not
the
your
mirror.
downline's
No.
responsibility.
No, it's head office. It's head office.
So it's really important. We want to just be playing above the line for ourselves. And if this is the game, that's the rules of the game. And we are so clear from the start. Now, there's a culture of nurturing. And I love that about our Plus company. It makes us mission driven. Now, with that, what we want the nurturers to know is that you can help twice, triple as many people when you are confident in your own values of how you're going to show up in your business. So the minute that I was able to decide that I could help so many more people, when I was stopped trying to save people who pretend to have a hand up but are actually drowning, and when I swim over to help them, they're actually going to try and pull me under. And that's okay. This is a business, my friends, and I really want you to have permission to take ownership that this is a business. It's not a chap shop. It's not an orphanage. It's not a big, psychology, family, counseling group. It's none of that. This is a business, and you are business owners. You want to decide to be a business owner, not a manager and not an employee. So when we go below the line, we're in management mode or we're in employee mode, and we feel like we owe people something. We don't. So our only job is to be our best distributor, be our own best example, keep it simple, have fun, and then everyone around can watch me do that and go, that's easy, I can do that. So when it comes to then really proving, do they have both hands up or are they just saying it? The part that I go to there, it's like what Adam says, I will give 2 or 3 simple things that I expect in prep for our 20-minute catch-up. And they could be anything. If they're having trouble maybe on, I've run out of content, I'll get them to watch, a little video on gold mining in your customers, or I'll get them to read a chapter from GoPro, or I will think about what could help them. But more, actually, it's just a test. It's actually just a little mini test to see if they want this, and they're actually doing the feet and not just the lips. They're doing the action. So if they come prepared and having done those 3 things, we're going to have an amazing 20 minutes, because I'm going to say, what are you doing great? What's not, working so great in your business right now? Why do you think that is? And what are you prepared to do about that? What's one thing that you can do today to feel like you're winning in that area? Okay, great. And then we'll set up the next meeting and the next 2 to 3 things that they're going to do. Now, if they come to the meeting, and this is a really kind and I think elegant way, if they come to the meeting, they haven't done it, I'm just going to say, well, to respect your time and mine, I'm super busy and I know that you are too. So to respect our time, I'm going to reschedule this. So I'm going to make another 20 minutes. And when do you think you'll have those 3 things done by? Next Monday? Okay, great. So we're going to reschedule our 20 minutes. I can't wait to see how you go with that. And then let's do it again. Guess what I do if they come the next Monday and they haven't done the 3 things, or they've done 1.5 of them? I'm going to say, it seems to me that, life is happening for you and Juice Plus business building is not a priority for you right now. So I'm going to do this. When it is, and you've done those 3 things, I'm going to wait for you to contact me and let me know that those 3 things are done, and then we're going to move forward together. How does that sound? That's it. Done.
Love it. Anything to add, Bryan?
No, I think that was awesome. It was great.
Sorry, I blasted your heads off, but I'm passionate about that because I just have spent thousands of hours, unfortunately, below the line, watching people's lips and not the feet. So if you guys can commit that you're not going to do that, it'll be much more enjoyable for everyone.
It's definitely a journey as a leader. It's definitely a journey as a leader, because we want it for them, because we've been through it. We can see the other side, and we just, want to grab them and shake them and say, can't you see that you just need to change this? But I think sometimes we invest too much in them. And when you make that shift to just step away and let them own it, then, that's when your teams grow and they go crazy and that leader grows. And we've had a situation with someone, Linda and I, and Linda spoke to her, and then I spent some time with her, and her business is growing now. And but she needed to own where she was. She probably wasn't in the right headspace for building business.
We lost him.
He was giving us the $1 million secret too.
Damn, that was how I was going to get to 100 Club in the next 6 months.
Hang on, what was he saying? That
I think we've all dropped out.
oh, did we?
Oh no, we're there.
We're
Just
there.
him. Yeah, keep talking.
I think what he was probably going to begin to say was once that person took 100% responsibility for their non-success and also permission to put Juice Plus down at that moment, the particular situation that Bryan is talking about, you know, you can't possibly build a business when life is happening too much for you, and you're stressed and you know that your focus needs to be in other things. So give yourself permission to put your head down and make hay when it's this. We all have seasons. We have seasons in our life, we have seasons in our business. So it's actually really business intelligent to see where your season is and how to maximize that. So take pressure off yourself. If you're in winter and there's a lot of things happening for you, 1 hour a day investing in your Juice Plus business. And if you know that you're not high energy right now and high inspiration, then you're doing the quieter things, you know, behind the scenes in your business, and you're taking care of what you already have. That's not big building mode, if that makes sense. The minute that we take pressure off ourselves, there's a new space that can open up, you know, for healing, if that needs to happen, or growth, or so yeah, giving ourselves permission is important.
So one of the things that I wanted to share is obviously part of being teachable and watching the feet as a leader, but also more just because we know what it's going to mean for people. Conference is obviously a really big thing, and I know with Bryan wasn't in the business that long when he first came to conference. We were in the business for a week, I think, when we came to conference, but the leader said, you've got to come to conference, so we got our butts there. And I'm always struck by your story, Linda, and I actually just shared this on training, is that when we first met you, you'd been in the business for actually a couple of years already.
Yep.
And then we became really good friends over the next couple of years, and certainly saw the challenges that you went through at that time in your business. And we didn't believe in you. We didn't believe in the dream, right? We couldn't see it. We're like, what's this dream that Linda is still attached to? We don't see it. This is before we came to conference and joined, because it took a long time for us to get it. But you had been to conference, so although you weren't having the success that you were envisioning yet,
Yes.
you had seen the vision.
Yep.
So even though all of your friends didn't even support her, I'm very sorry for that, you're like, no, I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. And that's really, like, I think that's one of the most powerful things about conference, because we have a lot of new team that have just joined, and they're asking us, you know, they're 2 weeks in, and it's like, do I really need to come to conference? And I think that's the thing, because anything worth doing, you're going to have challenges.
Yes.
That's how you grow.
So true.
So when you have those challenges like you did, when you've seen the vision, you know what's possible, that's what is going to pull you through and help you continue on your journey, so that you can end up being the highest paid in Australia and retire your husband and all the things that we didn't think were possible.
I love that. It's a really good point that you make, because it is exactly where I was able to, first of all, catch a vision and then nurture it and pour into it. Every 6 months, I was at a conference. It was my fuel. And I would see so many ordinary people creating extraordinary results in their life. And I knew that I was hardworking. That was without question. I knew that I cared at a high level for myself and others. And that's the only ingredients that I saw consistently through all of those creating extraordinary results. And it was that whole thing, if they can do it, I can do it. And I remember when I first went to the American conference, guys, I could not afford it. But if I had told myself I can't afford it, that shuts me off from every single option. So I learned really early to ask a better question, which is, what has to happen to make it happen? If I was, what if?
And I think when you keep telling yourself that story that I can't afford it, that actually plays out through your whole
everywhere.
life. So they're the kind of questions you're asking yourself through your whole life, and that result is going to filter through everything.
That's what conferences taught me, just the power of better questions and believing. Here's what I know to be true. when you are serving others at a higher level and it's not just about you, when you're up to good things and you are in a servant mode of who can you help and what you can create together, grace just shows up everywhere for you. Things begin to happen, phone calls start coming in, you set a bigger intention than yourself, and kind of the mind plays tricks on us on whether we're enough, whether we can afford it, whether we deserve it. Some of you I know right now, because this is what humans do. We just choose to suffer and see what we don't have all the time. Whereas when we ask, you know, how can I be enough? How can I remember my truth? How can I maximize resources? You know, what has to happen to make this happen? Honestly, most of you who are on the fence, it's 3 premium customers. Now, I don't like to think of anyone as a customer. I think about whose life can I change? Who needs more energy? Who will show up as a better mother, as a better friend, as a better wife when she's jumping out of bed with vitality again, when she feels taken care of, when she feels rewarded and recognized and part of a tribe. There are so many people craving that. So I don't think about me and my result, and believe me, it took me years to really understand this, but once you go into from the head to the heart and to serve others, everything becomes easier. So who can you serve at conference just by being there? Who can you impress? Who can you inspire? Who can you ignite? What part of you can you begin to ignite again because you are trusting and having faith and believing in yourself again? Like, what a gift, right? So the vision that the Kira is so right. If I didn't go to conference with surrounded by 8,000 others and see this one meek, mild, little gorgeous lady on stage who was the complete opposite to me, and she had 7 kids, and then she said she homeschools them, and she's the pastor's wife, and you know, she's the something leader and the everything else. Every excuse I had that I was so legitimate and justified in, I had to tear it up. I had to, because I saw she was there to serve many. And I saw how her team were reacting around her. And the question, the magic question I began to ask is, who do I need to become to create that? Who do I need to become to rally, you know, 100 people to get on a plane, to get the shirt, to cheer us on, and to be part of something bigger than myself? That's when I became very addicted to that. How could I create that? So, great question.
Love that, Adam.
What about you, Adam?
Oh, look.
I don't know if they can see you.
Oh, that's okay. I think conference, it's a non-negotiable. You know, if you're on this call, there's 206 of you and you're not coming to conference, then are you just one of those people that like to show up and pretend you're doing it, or are you actually doing it? I'll be honest, like, are you actually doing it? And you've got to get out of bed and make the choice. I think the thing is, if you're not coming to conference, then you are making it about you. You are making it about you, but what if you made it about everyone else? You know, I don't know, you know, at this conference, there is 20 or 25 NMDs walking the stage. And I want to let you know that every single one of them sat in the audience last year, watched and thought, you know what, I want to be one of those. They're inspired by something, they saw the vision, and then they went out and got into massive action. And some of those leaders, some of those NMDs that you're going to have the chance to see share their story that will probably inspire you to say, if they can do it, I can do it. You'll resonate with. And a lot of them had the same story you did last year. They made excuses why they can't come to conference. So the thing is, guys, you know, and we say it all the time, it's the excuses that you're making why you can't come are the exact reasons why you need to come. So don't let your excuses get in the way of your dreams. Ask yourself better questions. You know, Linda held that space for us 5 days into the business 3 years ago. 3 years ago, just to think where our life is now, 3 years on. But if Linda never held that space for us, and that's why I'm comfortable by being in your face about this, and not that Linda was, because I have a responsibility to make sure you get your ass there. That's my whether you're in my team or not. If you're here and you're serious and you want to be successful and you're on here because you're trying to learn from leaders, I want to let you guys know that leaders don't miss conference. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why Jeff Roberti, who's been in the company for 30 years, has been to 60 conferences. They do 2 a year. They do 2 a year in America. We've got 1. You guys have got it easy. 1 a year, one responsibility.
Jeff's first one, can I just say this?
Yeah.
All excuses are equal. He was living in his car. He drove 9 hours, had to sleep overnight in his car. And when he saw and felt what he felt, he still says, he dropped to his knees, he had tears of gratitude that he'd found his way. With enough work ethic and enough vision and heart, he'd found his way, that he was going to create everything that he wanted to in life.
And I think the thing is that how hard it is this time to get there is exactly the story you need to create success. This is a part of the journey. This is a part of the story. Get it. I had to sell something. I had to find a way. You know, I had to put off the bills for 2 months and I just found a way. That's a part of your story that you have forever.
And it will fuel your action and activity when you get back from conference, especially if you've had to prove people wrong or you've had to borrow money or whatever you've had to do, dig deep to get there. On the other side of that, you're going to be like, I'm going to show everybody, I'm going to show up for me, I'm committed now. You know, when you make that commitment to getting there, no matter what, all excuses out the door, that is the ultimate commitment.
Yep.
And as a leader, as a business, people are attracted to that commitment, that certainty, and that stability. So when you give yourself permission to commit 100% and do what it takes, you will see it transform your business overnight. And I was just going to share, just get Bryan to share, because I know that he was early on in the business when he came to conference as well.
And he said, you will know my name.
Yeah, I mean, am I frozen?
No, you're back.
Can you see me?
Sorry.
Yeah. Your hair doesn't look that good. It's okay.
I thought it was you. When we first started, we got told there's 3 elements of success: desire, willingness, and being teachable. And, you know, Adam told us, and Kira, they said, to be teachable, you've got to do what we say, right? Just fall in line, submit to the system. And one of those things was going to conference. So we went to conference, and it was Melbourne, and we had 4 kids, and we had to hire babysitters, and, you know, all excuses are equal, but we went. And this business, your business won't grow until you grow. And you being teachable means you've got to get to conference and see the bigger picture. Be surrounded by other people that have been exactly where you are and have got through the pain and are on the other side. So I question, if you're not going to conference, how teachable are you? Because we don't have to do too many things in this business, but being teachable, falling in line, getting to conference is one of those things. Because like Kira shared, people buy us, you know, and we need to invest in us. We need to be the best version of ourselves to attract people to follow us on this journey. And one of those things is about going to conference, surrounding yourself, seeing a bigger picture. All right. So when you come back from conference, it's easier to inspire people to join you on this journey, you know, and that was the biggest thing for us. I remember meeting Linda. We're in a lift, and I said to Linda there, and then I owned it. I said, you will know who we are or who I am. You know, I didn't know who she was. I knew who she was. She didn't know who I was. I said, I'm Bryan Marsh, but you will know me. And you know what? I owned where I was going. And it was that certainty that got people to follow us on that journey with us. So when we're in calls, in 3-way calls or prospecting calls or team calls, it was the certainty that people said yes to, the commitment that we were going somewhere. And that's what conference gave us. So the $300 cost of a ticket or $1,000 to get there is an investment in your business, because I honestly believe you'll make 10 times that coming back out of conference between you and your team when you get them there. You know, we don't have to invest into a lot of things in this business, but we have to invest into ourselves. Being teachable is one of them, and falling in line and getting to conference. It will change your life. It's changed all of our lives. It's changed our life, you know. So being teachable means falling in line.
We could probably really question, would we be here without those conference fuel ups? No, I wouldn't be, which means a lot of you mightn't be as well. Just the not giving up on a bad day, knowing what was possible, seeing it with my own eyes, the 3D experience. It's not the how-to stuff, it's the emotional stuff where you have the tears of knowing that you're in the right place. You know, you'll have that moment of, I'm in the right place, I will figure this out. And that's a priceless moment. It's like Jim Rohn says, don't wish it was easier, wish you were bigger.
I love what I got so fired up then when Kira was saying it. The struggle to get to conference, it's real, man, and it's awesome. You want to be poor. You want to be like living on complete and sharing with 10 people, because that's the part that I'm still excited about that I had to do, because it meant that I showed up early. I was front seat taking notes, and I was going to leverage it. Really. There was one question, and I do just want to address it. I think it's important. Someone wrote, and thank you for this, what if people don't believe your vision right now? Those around you don't believe in this for you right now. It's a rule. There's going to be a lot. There's probably going to be more than that do believe in your vision. And what I did consistently was I didn't ask them to have to understand it. I just knew. So I would say just from my heart, I know that you don't really get this right now, but I am so strong on my conviction and faith with this. I just want you to give me the space. You don't have to cheer me on even, but I just don't want you to be an obstacle. I just really would love for you to cheer me on from the sidelines, whatever that looks like. And I'm so fired up, and I love your intention of making sure that I'm okay and that I'm not going to be hurt and that I'm not wasting my time. I really want to acknowledge you on having the courage to share that with me, but I'm good. I'm in great hands. I'm in the right place, and I just can't wait to show you what I see.
And I think when you share from your heart and you're really vulnerable, so rather than going into attack or defense mode, which never ends well and no one ever wins in that situation, when you take a step back and you just share from your heart and you're vulnerable, it's going to be a very rare situation where someone's not going to go, you know what, yeah, I'm probably being a bit negative, I don't understand it, but I'll let you do your thing, and if it's a friend or, someone's continuing to speak into your life negatively, you've got to ask yourself why you're putting yourself around such negative people all of the time. And that's why you want to come to conference, because that's where you're going to be surrounded by like-minded people who you can feed off. You can feed off their inspiration and their certainty. And
it's a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, proximity is power. You've got to be around successful people. It's like, and especially if you guys are just getting started and you're listening to the advice and opinions of people around you. If I needed relationship advice, I'm going to go to someone who has an amazing relationship, who I look up to, who I aspire to be like in many ways. I'm not going to ask, my friend that's been divorced 5 times for relationship advice, right? So you've got to be careful who you let speak into your life, because if they're not someone who is crazy successful in every area of their life, financial freedom, time freedom, amazing relationships, an amazing, parenting model, like if you're listening to someone who doesn't have those things, you've got to question, okay, what am I doing here?
It's so true.
Yeah, so I heard Kez say she's crying. You don't know why. I want to let you know, because you know what it is that, and I don't know if you remember, I share it all the time. I'm crying all the time, big sick that I am. I want to let you go know a few things. I've certainly cried a lot, and I haven't actually shared this much with many people because it was only last month. Last month we were at the US conference. Cool, when you've been here for a little while, you start to get invited to come to some cool places. Jeff Roberti, come sit up at the front of the conference. I'm like, yeah, I'll come sit with you, dude. So sitting with him, and I'm at the front row, and I'm watching people on stage talk, and I'm still crying. And I think to myself, man, just the emotional charge that you get from this. And I can tell you what it is, what I feel it is to me, is that I found a home. I found a place where I can be myself, that I can pour into people, that I get the same reciprocation back, and that we're together working as one. And that's the journey. When you're in these moments and you're like, I'm crying, and why am I crying? It's because that's what happens when you finally found what you've been looking for. When you finally found something that you truly have desired all your life, and you really want something bad enough, is that it hits an emotional chord, a deep chord that you've probably been, yearning for so many years. Even as a child, you probably wanted that in your life, and that's what this is about. I don't know many places that are like this, that people want to raise you up, that, I'm certainly not going to be wearing a white shirt to conference because I'll end up with makeup all over it. It's going to always cost a few $100s for shirts because that's just how conference is.
He always comes home with makeup patches on his shirt.
But it's an amazing. And the thing is, what I know is the problem is the people that are on here today are the people that don't need to hear this the most. because what I know is the people that aren't coming to conference probably aren't on this, and most of those people aren't. And so my thing is, guys, you guys have a responsibility to uphold, which is hold a space for them, to not let their BS excuses get in the way. And when they do give you BS excuses, your job is not to buy into them. Your job is not to say, oh, okay, babe, that's all right. Your job is to say, you know what? I feel where you're at. Look, it's hard to understand what you're going through right now, but you told me this is what you want. And what I know that all the leaders talk about going there. So if you really want this, then finding a way to get there we've just got to find a way. And I think that's what we need to hold the space for. And I think a lot of you guys are like, if only I could get, 5 more of my team to come. I want to say to every single one of you guys, if you've got 5 people already coming, then you've still got 10 more days to get another 5. Yeah. If you've got 20 coming, you still got another 10 days to get another 10. If you've got 100 already coming, then you've got 10 days to get another 50 to come. Because inside all those little teams, everyone's got their own individual goals. So keep yourself accountable. Who could you reach out to? Who could you speak to? And just say, you know what? I got something in my heart I want to share. And that I don't want you to give up on your dreams. And I know you don't understand the importance of conference right now. But I promise you, once you come, you'll know what I mean. I promise you, and I say this all the time, if you don't get what I'm talking about when you get there, I want you to personally come up and tell me. Personally come up and tell me. Spill a drink on me. Do whatever you think you need to say this was a waste of time. And I'm yet to have anyone. The only thing that I get spilled on me normally are tears. Tears of gratitude. Of like, man, I didn't get it, but now I get why the last month you've been talking about conference and why it's so important. So I think we all understand that, how important it is.
Yeah, we don't keep talking about it because it's so fun to talk about. It's because we know, and it's not about us, it's about you guys. We know we have our vision of where we're going to be and where we're going, and there's no attachment to what anyone else does. We know that we're going to be successful, but we also know for you to be successful, it's important that you get there as well. And I love what Bryan said. For your business to grow, you need to grow. And if you're holding on to some excuses right now of why you can't get there, it's your opportunity right now to grow to that next level as a person and to find a way. And, that was definitely me 2 years ago. I was stuck in blame, shame, and justify about everything, even conference. I wouldn't have gone if Adam hadn't dragged me there, right? So this is your opportunity right now, because all of those excuses of no time, how many hours a day are you watching TV or doing things that don't add value to your life and your future? We all have the same amount of time in the day. The millionaire, the person who's living on the street, we all have the same amount of time. It's what we choose to do with that time. We don't have any money. I can say that even the financial pain that Adam and I used to be in, I always found the money for the things that I fixated on it and really, really wanted. Where there's a will, there's a way. When you, what does Mitch say? When you place the demand, then the supply shows up. So place the demand that you're going to come to conference, and that supply will show up. If there's a will, there is a way. And, just be teachable and have the self-worth that you are worthy of being there. You're worthy to take time out for 2 days and make the trip and invest in you. You are absolutely worth it.
The other thing for people that haven't been, I know sometimes we can get fixated on, well, what happens when I'm there? And is it the how-to and the speakers and why do I really need to be there? I'm sure that you're seeing and feeling from us, it's the emotional states that you will be gifted with. That yes, there's a lot of the how-to for our brain. There's a lot of distinctions and aha moments that you're definitely going to be able to take. There's an incredible lineup of speakers. I've never seen such an all-star lineup, and everyone is serving at the highest level. We're all completely, putting pressure on ourselves to deliver the best ever. I know that for a fact, including me. And what I want to get is it's being in the room. And that's the part that we can't explain to you. The how-to is going to be amazing, and you can get a lot of how-to everywhere. I understand that. It's being in the room. It's being in the corridors. It's, having conversations in the toilet line. It's being out and having those moments where the tears flow and you know that you're in the right place. It's priceless, my friends. It's what has spurred me on, and that always stays with me. That makes me bulletproof out in the real world. So you fuel up with your tribe. You know that you're here for bigger things. You are abnormal to choose this. You're an entrepreneur and you are choosing the path less traveled. You haven't chosen this path because it's the easy way. You haven't chosen that. That's not what's drawing you here. It's a heart decision. And this is where you will know that you have a home. As Adam says, this is where your heart will know you've made the right decision and you will never ever give up on a bad day. That's the magic of conference. So, was there another question?
I just look at this. I think, a couple of people said, I've got no money, I can't do that, or, I'm just starting out. Like, I want to let guys know, if you buy into that story, then there's only one ending. There is only one ending when you just straight away think about what you don't have rather than what could you get. Catch yourself in that moment and say, is that a powerful question that I'm asking myself? Is that going to find me the answer? What if it meant your life? What if it meant the rest of your life? And I'm telling you, it potentially has, right? It is the rest of your life. It's up to you. If you want to keep getting the results that you've been getting in your life, then keep acting the way that you are. But if you want different things in your life, then you've got to change that state. You've got to ask yourself better questions. So I know it's hard because for so long, the people around you have just drummed it into you to not be resourceful, to not think outside the box. But we're urging you guys, we're encouraging you guys to think outside the box. If you've got a TV at home, I want to tell you, you've got half a ticket sitting there. Honestly, sell it on Gumtree, because if you come away from that from the conference and you're serious that you want to make this thing go all the way, then the best thing you could do is sell your TV for a year and not watch TV for a year, and turn that investment and turn it over 10, 20, 100 times. That's the best thing you could do. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not watching too much TV.
Jeff Roberti says there's a whole lot of fun. Jeff Roberti says there's no PB in TV.
There you go. I love it. I
love what Simon Shan said about the more TV that you watch, the less income you earn.
Yeah. Bryan?
I just wanted to answer Linda's question. I can honestly say I wouldn't be where I am now if I didn't go to conference, without a doubt, because I wouldn't have been able to see what's possible. Walking the stage at NMD, being 100 Club, whatever your goal is. For me, I needed to see that. And that was the same when I saw Adam and Kira's journey. I saw where they had come from to where they were. So in that meeting, when we went to Adam and Kira's, we bought them. Conference, I saw a bigger picture. I saw what it could be to walk the stage. So I definitely agree that I wouldn't be where Fiona and I wouldn't be where we are if we didn't go to conference. So, if you've got goals, get to conference, find someone that's hit those goals and learn from them. Copy what they do.
Celine, boss, I think she's on here, unless she's gone out for champagne and they've got it. But love, if you've got anything you'd love us to add, then maybe put it in the comment box.
Can we add her on live?
We could add her.
You can't do 3, you can do 2.
No, 3-way FaceTime live. What? They got to get with the 3-ways. They're not teachable.
Linda is all over this technology. She knows how it works.
I love it.
I stumbled across this one.
Look,
And look, I'm seeing people have a go and say, I'll have this and that. That's more work. Do you know anyone that wants more vitality jumping out of bed, that wants a smarter way to create $500 income? Like, better questions, not have to sell stuff. I don't want that for you. I heard someone trying to hock their engagement ring or something. No, I don't want that. I want an abundance mentality here, guys. Not what do I have to give up? What can I create? How can I add value? What has to happen to make it happen? How can I use my best gifts to create and add value to others right now? You can do a shred party, whatever it is, and collect 8 people and focus on serving them with amazing tips. Do a live. Just add value and the people will come. Don't try and sell anyone on anything. Just add value and you will be enough. Your commitment and conviction will be enough. And ask better questions. Where do people hang out that you want to attract into your team? And you burn up the phones with inspiration. Definitely not desperation. There's a massive abundance out there. And that's what we want you to tap into. Better questions. What do I need to create? What part of me do I need to draw on right now? So my light shines so bright, so I'm so attractive. And just squash any doubt. Doubt is cancer in our lives, in our business. Forget doubt. Tap into that place of you that knows what this is and why you're here. And you put that on like a suit every day. I don't wake up like that, but I choose it as a suit. I choose to remember why I'm here, what I want to create. That's why we need vision, guys, that you'll get more than anywhere at conference. So there's my final.
It's good. Babe?
You go first.
I'm done. Get the fuck down.
Bryan?
Rise up, word.
I think there is a lot of leaders on this call. And I think if you've got people in your team that aren't getting to conference, you need to reach down to them and work out how to make it possible. Because I know Jeff Roberti helps people get to conference too, because he invests in them. So he will get alongside them and he will say, what's it going to take? How can I serve you? How can I help you? And I'm not talking about paying for their ticket. If you can do that, do that. But help them, help them ask those questions. Help them get some more customers, get more team to get to conference. How can you serve your team?
Okay. I'll probably just add, sorry, stop lying. Look, I just think that you have spent your whole life showing up for others. Obviously your family and friends, but showing up for bosses and people who are building their own dreams by you being there serving them. And this is an opportunity for you to show up for you and build your own dreams. And I don't know, for me, this is the first time in my life that I've done that I committed to showing up for me. If you can show up to a job every day, or at some point in your life you did this, if you're not currently, if you're a stay-at-home mama like I did, if you could show up day in, day out, Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday, to a job that didn't fill you with absolute passion and desire to earn a measly income. For me, it was $500 a week I sold my soul for many years. I just think that's crazy that we can spend our life doing that, but we can't just show up for ourselves for an hour a day to create something absolutely phenomenal where we can literally live the life of our wildest dreams. I'm living the life of my wildest dreams. My highest values are family and health, and I have the income now where I literally get to plan my days around those two greatest values every single day. I have the time freedom and the financial freedom to do that, and that's because of this business. So if your boss was telling you, you've got to come to this company conference or you're fired, I know you find a way to get there. Yeah. So be teachable. Obviously, you're your own boss in this. We're not your boss, but we are hopefully your mentors. And, we get to show you the seeds of success that we've been able to sow into our own businesses, and conference is definitely one of those things. So choose to commit to your own success and show up for you and come to conference.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Bryan. Keep looking beautiful.
See you at
mate.
Conference. Come up and buy me a drink.
See you guys at
people.
conference. Make sure you come up to Bryan and tell him you'll remember my name. He'd love to hear that.
No, buy me a drink.
See you guys. Have a good day. Bye.
Yeah.